everybody. Happy lunch with the dog.
Cheers.
It's Wednesday.
Raising a glass of water to you. Boom.
We're at 2:30 today.
2:30. I mean, this place is incredible. Can we pan around and show this place? See that guy right back there? He's good. He takes care of people. This is the place right here. 2:30 Cafe right here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, he hid behind the place. All right.
We love coming down and being in town, just highlighting amazing restaurants around town that you can come to and get good food, good service, stay local. So we always love.
And get a little, information about health, and hear some stories, and get a little entertainment. My daughter's really good at that.
Oh, my dad's really good at that. We like to entertain. So another Lunch with the Doc. If you're new to Lunch with the Doc and you've never joined us, we do this every Wednesday at 12:30. It's a live event, and we just talk about different health topics, giving you tools and information that you need to live your healthiest life. So every week is different and fun and live and on the go, and we're helping balance.
Some are shorter, some are longer.
Some are longer.
I just, I felt like today I wanted to talk about disc problems, but I wanted to talk about the one that I had in 1997. One of my patients was talking about her disc problem, and she goes, "God, that's such a great story." She goes, "You've never told me that story before, and I've been coming here for 25 years. I said, "Well, I guess you just got it out of me today." She goes, "You should tell that on the Lunch with the Doc." I said, "Okay, I'll just do it." So
there we go. That's a good thing. If you ever have something you want to hear about on Lunch with the Doc, just comment.
Yeah, comment on it and
put it in there for you.
We'll put it in there. So we've got quite a library of stuff. This has been about a year and a half now we've been doing this.
It's been 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to the website at
healthandbalance.com, and you just go to the media section, and there it says Lunch with the Doc, and you can go through all the ones we've had. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Health and Balance Integrative Medicine. We put everything up on there, our Health Tip Tuesdays, our Lunch with the Doc. So there's lots of really good resources for you.
Yeah. We just want to give people what they want and what they need. I mean, a doctor did that for me. He asked me what I wanted, and I said, well, I'd like my symptoms to go away, because 5 years previous I had a real bad car accident, and then my neck pain, my mid-back pain, and my sinus trouble had just kept getting worse and worse and worse because I didn't do the care that was recommended to me when I was doing the after the car accident. The insurance company said they weren't going to pay me for my car and my totaled sailboat that was on top of my car when I got hit, until I said I was done with the care. So then I had to decide, do I need a car? And I'm 21, yes. So I signed off, which was a bad mistake. So 5 years later is when I finally, made the decision to actually do the work and fix my body once and for all. My wife wouldn't let me wiggle out of it because I didn't want to invest the money. I didn't think I should have to. I thought that everything would get better on its own, but it just kept getting worse. So then another thing happened, right about the same time.
So is that when you got your herniated disc?
No, that's what I was just going to say.
Okay.
Another thing that happened, there were 3 big things that happened to me. The other thing was around 6 months after I did the car accident, I got mercury poisoning from some inappropriate dentistry, and that really changed my life. Now, so I got all better. I got the care in 1981, I got the care and fixed my whole body. That caused me to want to become a naturopathic doctor, but naturopaths couldn't practice legally in California at the time, but I could do everything a naturopath could do as a chiropractic doctor, and a chiropractor is one to help fix my body for all, once and for all. Fast forward, we started our practice here in 1987, moved down from Santa Cruz. And 1997, 10 years after that, I used to play a lot of beach volleyball. I played 4 times a week, every Tuesday morning, Thursday morning, Saturday, Sunday. All of our kids like she and Aria and Raya were in the wind-up, cranky baby swing, so Lisa and I could be out there playing doubles volleyball, and the kids are in there, or someone would pick them up and hold them. 1997, it's interesting how when you talk about why the body would get injured, because sometimes it doesn't seem like you should have had an injury from something. Sometimes people will come in and say, yeah, I was just bending over to tie my shoe, and I felt this sharp pain in my low back, and they end up herniating the disc. Well, a lot of times it's when we actually start adding up the stressors. Like, let's say a person's dehydrated. Let's say a person had French fries and they got more inflamed. Let's say the person drank too much over the weekend, they were dehydrated and inflamed. Let's say they got into an argument with their spouse, so they had emotional stress that tightened them up. Let's say their SI joints weren't moving like they should, and they're tight, and mechanically they're not as flexible as they should be in certain joints in the body. You start adding those stressors up, and then you put the body into an extreme mechanical stress, like playing volleyball or doing something crazy in volleyball, and you can get a disc herniation like I did. So in 1997, we had, is everything okay with our order? Yes.
Yes.
I'm celiac, so that's why
Okay.
she's asking me questions.
Yeah, I'm
good.
more, I'm gluten sensitive, but I'm not celiac.
So like the Brussels sprouts, they're gluten free, but we cook them in a fryer. Like
That's
flop.
okay.
I can't eat
That's
them.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the onion soup, even if we don't do the croutons, there is something in there. I don't know if there's flour or
Bouillon.
something in there. I can't eat it. I get sick. So
You can't.
I
I'm
just
okay
don't
with,
recommend
I'm
it.
okay with French onion soup.
Okay.
I've had it just as long as there's no bread in it. I'm usually good with
Okay.
it.
Okay. As long as you're okay with that.
Thanks
I
a
just wanna
lot.
make sure.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank you.
that.
You're welcome.
All right,
Perfect.
good.
See, good restaurants like this
Yeah.
know how to treat people with allergies and serve us well.
Yeah.
It's good. You gotta know what's in your food. Very
Yep,
important.
it is important. So I'm out playing volleyball, and since I'm not a real tall guy, I have to be better than the tall guys in terms of my ability to work on my technique, to cover the court, to take a look at the court and put the ball where the other team's not. Some big power guys can just pound the ball and they don't have to think about as many things as a shorter guy like me would have to think about. So let's just say, kind of like Magic Johnson, I'm competitive. Now that's really nice of me to compare myself to Magic Johnson. Did you see how I did that?
Uh-huh. Good one. That was
Because
great.
he's my favorite, athlete. And he just quit last night for the Lakers. Oh, well. Anyhow, so I had won the first 3 games. I was happy about it. One of my friends asked to stay and play one more game, and his ball control wasn't, let's just say his ball control isn't real great. And in a game of doubles, you need to be able to pass the ball, set
have
the ball,
good ball
hit the ball control. So now
They
that
taught me that from a young
4th game
age.
that I didn't really want to stay for because I was already knew my body was kind of done, I stayed for it, and now we're getting beat 7-0. I'm passing the ball, it's shanking this way, shanking that way, over the net, behind me, and I'm going, bro, I'm not going to mention names. Bro, can you just put the ball out there for me so I can look at the court and hit the...
Bro.
So,
Come on.
down 7-0, I give him a perfect pass, and then his arms get bent, boom, he passes it to set me, and I start to come in thinking that the ball's going to be somewhere in the vicinity, and now it's way behind me. So I reach way back like this, and I just got this sharp jolt, like a lightning bolt. I just dropped to the ground. I knew something was terribly wrong. I went back to the office. My wife was back with patients. Couldn't see her. I tried to get on a table that was an old type table. I don't have that table anymore. I sold it the next day. Or actually, yeah, I did sell it the next week. But it was out of my office the next day. That had an old spring system on it. And I thought, well, maybe if I get on this thing with some ice and I go down like this, it'll help take some pressure off. But in the process, it's a real heavy spring, and I asked one of my staff, please be careful, because if we get it down there and you let the spring go, it's going to jackknife me backwards. It's exactly what happened. So now I can't even move. I can't even walk. I crawled out of my office. I went up to Dr. Eugene Levin. He said, yeah, it looks like you herniated a disc. You need to go get an MRI. He gave me some Vicodin and some Relafin, which at the time I needed. Dr. Lee, my acupuncturist, my favorite acupuncturist, I've probably sent him well over 1,000 people in the last 30-something years. He did some acupuncture on me, had me put my thumb into large intestine 4 And if you and also using different techniques like Graston technique, which is to go after the scar tissue, and how to mobilize the sacroiliac joints. And then we knew about active release technique, and Dirk at my office got trained and certified in that. We found the best of therapies like the deep muscle stimulator. We built home care exercises for people based on their postural distortions, because we know that once the posture gets distorted, it's going to start putting too much pressure on those discs. And then a normal disc that looks like this is the disc here, there's the spinal cord, here's the spinal nerve root, this is a normal one, but here's one that shows a bulging disc right here. You see how this disc is bulging back? It's putting pressure on the poor little nerve right here. But you can see the top of the disc, that's normal, that's the nucleus. And this is called the annulus, which is a protective membrane around the outside. This is a disc herniation, also called a protrusion, where the nucleus breaks through and puts pressure on the nerve root. And then this one's called an extrusion. It's where the nucleus actually comes way out into the spinal canal. Look how small that hole is. That's how you get sciatica and numbness and tingling. This can happen in your neck or in your low back. So we specialize in treating these. We have a 98% success rate. It's so rare that we have to send people out for epidurals or for surgery, although sometimes we have to. Last year, around this time, I had to refer someone to the surgeon because it was such a bad one. They got better, but it wasn't good enough. I had to refer to my favorite neurosurgeon. And then I also referred to my favorite orthopedic surgeon. And so we have a good nucleus of neurosurgeons, orthopedists that do epidurals, and whether you have a joint that needs surgery, things like that. We just try to conserve this stuff first. And then you'll also notice that you see how the disc is getting a lot thinner here. This is advancing spinal arthritis, osteoarthritis. It means that it got injured at one time. It went wham like that. It healed in with scar tissue for the next 12 weeks. And then the joint doesn't move very much, so that the cartilage begins to degenerate. And if it doesn't move very much, it starts to put in even more scar tissue to degenerate. And wherever the posture heals, if it's distorted with the forces of gravity on it, what's going to happen is it's going to start pulling in minerals into the scar tissue that actually turn into bone spurs, where then finally it prematurely ages like this, where there's no disc left and it's all fused. But I've seen people with a normal one here, but a fused one right next to it, because this was the one that got injured. It never got rehabbed correctly, and now it's degenerating. We're good. We're gonna get served some food.
Food. Okay, wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Keep those two up really quick. Thank you.
Oh,
this
so
looks
nice.
lovely.
For you.
Thank you. Ahi. Thank you. Salad. Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. Perfect.
For you, focus, please.
So, I have a question about these discs. So, if you have a disc that looks like this,
Beautiful.
thank you.
Wow, I got French onion soup without the croutons.
Awesome.
And some beautiful Brussels sprouts.
Thank you. So can you have a disc that looks like this, and can you bring it back to a place
Nope.
of looking like this?
Nope.
You can. What can you? So when it heals, then what does it look like?
Well, it depends on how long you let it stay like that in the abnormal state, because it's just progressive. Once it fills in with scar tissue and it isn't moving, and it's abnormally being loaded from gravity, then it's slowly going through this degenerative process. I've seen a woman at 77 years old whose spine looked like this all the way through, but I've also seen a 19-year-old kid that was injured a long time ago when he was a little boy, and it was almost fused at 19 years old because that injury had not been managed correctly. It's not your fault, it's not your parents' fault because you didn't know. It's not even your doctor's fault because most doctors didn't even know this. This came out in the 80s that this is what the body does. But they did find out with surgeries that if they immobilized a person after knee surgery, it would heal in with scar tissue and wouldn't move. That's why you have post-surgical rehab care that usually goes on for 12 weeks where they bend it, move it, bend it, move it, bend it, move it. It hurts, but that's what you need to be able to heal so you actually have flexibility again later on in life.
So if you do have a disc herniation then and you don't want it to stay bad like that, what do you need to do?
You got to get it moving again. You got to treat it very cautiously. Old-fashioned hardcore chiropractic adjustments are not indicated. We use spinal decompression. We use a lot of different things, even the cold laser therapy, pressure wave. We have a lot of state-of-the-art techniques and technologies. And if that's something that you ever want to get a second opinion on, or look at what can you do conservatively to help heal it, it's worthwhile.
So what did you do? How did yours finally heal? And how is yours doing now?
Mine's doing great. I started getting decompression. I got a lot of tissue work, and it really worked on fixing my posture. And that's how I put the thing to rest for good. Because now, because of the new injury, I had new postural stuff that I had to fix. I had fixed it before, but now with the new injury, I just had to go through another process. So that's
So
the
you're
way
healed, you're
I'm
better,
healed up,
you're living active.
living active.
There's hope. You can heal from a disc herniation. Yes.
Yeah, you don't
So good.
need epidurals necessarily. I'm just saying that's not the first thing right off the bat is that you need to have drugs or epidurals. It's just, if the natural conservative approaches don't do it, then that's when I make referrals for meds or epidurals or surgeries. So hopefully this helped. I'm really interested in eating my soup and my Brussels sprouts.
How's it tasting, guys?
It's really good.
Amazing, thanks. So, every week we do a Lunch with the Doc special. So if you're joining us, you have an opportunity to use some of the tools that we've talked about on the show and step into healing for yourself if that's something that you're looking for. So we wanted to offer to you to come in, if you do have a herniated disc or something along those lines, to come in and get an exam, see where you're at, and what you can really do to heal and move forward and get back to the active life that you want to live. So for that exam, we are going to offer that to you at the Lunch with the Doc special for $97. So you can call in at 949-497-2553 and just say, hey, I was watching Lunch with the Doc. I want to get the Lunch with the Doc special and check out my discs and see what's
Or
going on.
anything else that's going on.
Yeah.
Normally a comprehensive neurological exam, orthopedic exam, range of motion, posture, all those things. If I find abnormalities, I'll take postural x-rays. Normally this could all cost up to $600, but look, it's all about service and it's all about making a difference in people's lives. So we'd rather not break anybody's piggy bank and just give them an option to see what's going on with them and what their options are, and you make the decision that feels best for you.
Yep. So we have a couple announcements. We always have workshops and events coming up and everything. We just did a 7 steps to relieve neck and back pain workshop on Monday, which was awesome. We're going to be doing that one again. But
We were
stay up to
packed.
date. We were packed. It was great. We were teaching stretches you can do at home for relieving neck and back pain, stuff you can do every day. So stay up to date. Check out our email. If you want to be put on our email list, just go ahead and comment on one of these videos and give me your email. I'll put you on there so you can stay up to date with what's going on. We're having a detox day coming up pretty soon in May, probably on May 3rd, so we'll let you know about that one. But we always have a bunch
Right
of tools.
before Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah,
You're smart.
I know. So we always have a bunch of tools and things for you to use. So thanks for joining us on Lunch with the Doc today, and we hope to see you next week. You are amazing.
Thank you.